What is up, my little snuggle bunnies? Welcome back to Grand Prix World after a pretty extensive break. I hope you all had an awesome Christmas and New Year. Welcome back to Minardi. You join us for rounds 15 and 16 of the 1999 season, a season in which all of our plans, hopes and dreams have been repeatedly kicked in the balls. A quick summary assessment, I suppose, of why we're in the situation that we're in. Although we have the pay drivers, we did miss out on a works engine deal, which means, well, it means an outright loss, there's no denying that, but we did manage to get a partner engine deal, so it could have been worse. That said, we will be on customer deals most likely in all the other areas, so that obviously will cost us money. The big loss to us was that we were not able to pick up a team sponsor. Now, even as Minardi, you should, sometime between 99 and 2001, be able to snag yourself the base entry-level Red Bull team sponsor deal. That, usually combined with pay drivers or a works engine deal, or ideally both, is the turning point that gets you out of the poverty cycle that Minardi do begin the game in. So the problem for us, and I've not seen it happen before, although it was always a possibility, is that during the 1998 season, somebody signed with Red Bull on a 3-season deal. And that means for 3 seasons, that money is completely out of bounds to us. It's not even that, you know, we would be competing for it and we would lose. It was that we can't even compete for it. So really, it is the Niz and Takagi that are keeping us afloat at the moment. That and the partner engine deal. It's probable, but not certain, that next season we may find ourselves running out of cash completely. The other possibility, of course, is that we take a loan, but I'm always reluctant to do that. I think it would be interesting to cover it as part of gameplay. However, I really don't recommend it, but maybe it'll be interesting to sort of see how the game pans out when we are owing some creditors. We have 3 cars, all of which are completely knackered. I'm going to do some rudimentary repair now, but to be honest, all the cars are going to be very rough around the edges this season and next season. We are going to obviously close the season out pretty ingloriously as we have run it. In terms of sponsors, we are really hoping to snag a Zepta deal for 2 seasons as team sponsor. That would halve the length of the deal to 1 year, but it would double the cash we receive from them. I don't see it as especially likely, but we have to try. We're also trying to get some bonuses from Mugen Honda, but I don't think it's going to happen. We're running hospitality. I'm not entirely sure it's necessarily the smart thing to do, but I'm willing to sort of throw all our irons into the fire here to try and secure what we can for the team for next season. Now, next season is, assuming we survive it, going to be another season where we are basically trying not to drown. I don't know how interesting that would necessarily be for you guys, so by all means please do leave your feedback, but I'm more than happy to record it. I'm also happy to play that season off camera and we can pick up in 2001. The reason I offer that is it's very much rehashing old ground from the Arrows playthrough. I'm more than happy to cover it again and we can go through all those trials and tribulations once more together. But if you would rather just see the later stages of development, then that's also absolutely a possibility. The Zero Driver Development Program will be returning very shortly. Maybe today, maybe not. In fact, probably not, but it is something I definitely want to bring back because I've started it and I should finish it. Obviously the Arrows playthrough is nearing its conclusion and we'll be wrapping that up fairly soon as well. I've had one or two emails. I've replied to some of you, others I haven't had a chance to. In a bizarre twist, those who've emailed me super recently have already got replies. Those who messaged me sort of over the Christmas New Year period, late November, you guys haven't heard anything yet, and it is still my mission to reply to all of you, so I will get round to it at some point. I've had to cancel a bunch of things to record these for you today, but I think it's really important that we get back into the groove. Thank you for all your messages and what have you. I've been getting a few suggestions, a few requests about what we do once the Arrows playthrough finishes. All of that's very helpful. Some people want to see some mods, some want to see a different playthrough of the 98 season with some different restrictions. All of it sounds very interesting. My aim for later today is to see if I can get Grand Prix World running on my Windows 10 PC. I'm sure someone somewhere has found a way to do it. If I can do that, then that gives us the ability to run a modded version and a standard version alongside each other. And I don't know, maybe we migrate the driver development program into a new version of the game, into a modded version. The reason I offer that is because I think throughout the course of the Arrows playthrough and what you've had of the Minardi and Sauber playthroughs so far, you're pretty well acquainted with the driver roster. And the only area where I feel this game is lacking is that new drivers don't come in over the seasons. So you already probably know who are the better unknown drivers and who is just really not worth your time. So the driver development program, while something that I'm super interested in, I don't think really there's a lot of surprises in waiting there. And it occurred to me, aside from the problems we had with the driver development program where the episodes were a bit too long and we weren't sure what format they should be in, the other thing that occurred to me is that you'd basically be seeing a slightly sped up Arrows playthrough with two drivers that I'd probably never replace because they are, in my opinion, two of the top four unproven drivers, so there was not really any incentive to switch them, and switching them would kind of defeat the object of the driver development program. Whereas I think taking a mod from maybe the mid-2000s, before I was podcasting on F1, I was still a fan, but I wasn't as deep into it as I have become as I've got older, and my sort of nostalgia G-spot is throughout the 90s. I think, 1990 through to 99, early-ish 2000s is my favourite period in F1. But I think mid-2000s, where I was, I'll be honest, I was drunk for a lot of it. I wasn't quite with my finger on the pulse so much, and there might be some drivers that maybe you guys know that I've never heard of, and taking a mod from sort of 2005, 2006 maybe could be interesting, because then I don't really know what to expect. So, enough waffle, let's plough onwards and do Luxembourg things. Drink a milkshake. Strawberry. 24 degrees, dry with a strong wind. Not that we'd give a toss because the car is bullshit in all weather conditions on every track. As has been ably demonstrated here. Out-qualified by Rubens Barrichello in his Stewart. At the sharp end of the grid, Jean Lacey continues to perform strongly for McLaren, taking a pole position with a 1:18.506, ahead of Johnny Newhouse in his mighty Benetton. Top three is rounded out by Michael Schumacher in the fastest of the Williams cars. 15 degrees, light rain with a strong wind for the race itself. Do you know, I'm going to two-stop both of them because I just get a feeling the weather might be a bit changeable. So we'll just see what happens. Well, do you know, it could have been a worse finish. 12th and 14th. I mean, yeah, we were close to being last, but it could have been a lot worse. I'm not too disappointed with that, considering Schumacher lapped everyone up to and including David Coulthard in third twice. Obviously, Damon Hill coming through the ranks in the wet weather conditions that suit both him and his Ferrari to take second. Schumacher obviously taking the win there. Final points paying positions go to both Saubers in the points actually. Eddie Irvine leading the back-end trio, shall we call them. Johnny Newhouse 5th in the Benetton, and Mika Hakkinen 6th for Sauber. Very, very interesting to see both Saubers in the points. They might be the Jordan of this playthrough compared to our Arrows playthrough. Michael Schumacher pretty much leading right now, but the gap is narrower than one would expect, and really realistically it's a three-way fight, but more realistically it's a two-way fight between Schumacher and Alesi, both deserving potential champions. In the constructors, McLaren pretty much have it in the bag, but Ferrari maybe, possibly, but I doubt it, because even if they pick up the two highest points paying positions, McLaren are going to be somewhere else in the points. So it looks like McLaren's year. Arrows taking 5th, Jordan 6th, and Sauber getting a pretty healthy 7th actually, 10 points. And if they continue driving as they have been, they could actually pick Jordan to 6th, which would be interesting. Right then, if we haven't signed deals now, we're not going to. Yep. What a load of bullshit. Okay, so we are paying for fuels now. That sucks. We have 0 cash sponsors, and I've got no real reason to employ any commercial staff right now at all. So there's that. I did make a minuscule profit of about $200,000, which doesn't hurt, of course, but could be better. Let's just see where we're at here. I'm not going to bother repairing either car because we need cars for next year. So let's finish a second car. That puts us back down in money terms yet again, but we live and learn. I'm not going to fuck about. Let's just finish the season. Let's just get it out of the way, and I can go do an Arrows episode for you, and we can begin the grind shortly for the 2000 season. Light rain, 20 degrees with a strong wind for qualificazioni. 18th and 19th again, no surprises there, except that Laurent Redon did not qualify in his Prost. Strong rain, slack wind, 26 degrees for race day. Why even bother? I'm just going to let them do whatever. 19th and 21st. Takagi finishing last of the runners, 2 laps down, and a component failure taking out Pedro Diniz. That pretty much sums up the season for us. Michael Schumacher takes the win for Williams ahead of Damon Hill's Ferrari. It looks like Sauber really have come on song at the end of the season. A podium there for Mika Hakkinen ahead of Jean Alesi, who will now lose out on the Drivers' Championship. Alexander Wurz picks up some points for Jordan, hopefully enough to continue to hold their position in the Constructors, but I can't remember if it will. Yep, there you go. Michael Schumacher is your Drivers' Champion this year. Neither of our drivers classifying. And McLaren take the Constructors' Championship ahead of Ferrari. Williams rounding out the top 3. Sauber and Arrows tie on 14 points apiece, but Arrows win it. Man, that was close. But Sauber could have actually ended up 5th. That's a real shame. So close there, guys. Arrows take 6, probably on virtue of getting a higher overall result. Maybe they picked up a 2nd at some point. I think they might have done, actually. I do remember something along those lines. Okay, so there we go. That is the end of the 1999 season. Thank you for your patience and for bearing with me. Please do join me for the next episode, where we will be embarking on another season of gloom and misery. You guys take care. Pleasure as always, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye.